The story of Harut and Marout is among the deepest and most unsettling narratives mentioned in the Quran. It is not a story meant to entertain, but a powerful warning addressed to the hearts. It speaks about knowledge, temptation, free will, and above all, the responsibility that comes with every human choice. Through this story, Allah reveals a timeless truth about the nature of trials and the fragility of humankind when faced with what is forbidden. In an ancient time, among the children of Israel, confusion slowly settled in, truth became mixed with falsehood, and faith was altered by desires. Forbidden practices began to spread, especially magic, which was used to manipulate, divide, and harm. Some even went so far as to accuse prophets, claiming that their power came from sorcery. The prophet Suleiman was falsely accused as well. Allah then revealed clearly that Suleiman was never a disbeliever, and that it was the devils who taught magic to people. It was in this precise context that Allah mentioned two angels sent to Babylon, Harut and Marout. Their presence was neither random nor unjust. They were sent as a trial, a clear test for humanity. Contrary to what many believed, their mission was not to promote magic nor to encourage evil. Their role was to expose a temptation so that hearts would be tested and the sincerity of faith would become evident. Magic, in this story, is not presented as an admirable power or a noble science. It is described as a source of corruption, a tool used to separate a man from his wife, to sow hatred, to destroy families, and to break sacred bonds. Allah makes it clear that this type of knowledge brings no real benefit in the hereafter. It only leads to loss for the one who seeks it without fear of Allah. Harut and Marout never acted without reminding people of the nature of the trial. Their mission was strictly bound to absolute obedience to Allah. They did not teach anything without making the warning present, and they never forced anyone to learn. Thus, every individual who approached them was faced with a clear choice. This choice was not merely about acquiring knowledge, but about revealing the state of the heart, the true intention, and the relationship with Allah. Allah reminds in the Quran that this magic could not harm anyone except by His permission. This clarification is fundamental. It shows that even the darkest forms of evil remain subject to divine will. Nothing escapes the control of Allah, not hidden schemes nor actions performed in secrecy. This truth brings tranquility to the believer and reminds them that fear should never outweigh trust in Allah. Despite the clear warnings, many chose to pursue this forbidden knowledge. They knew, they were fully aware, yet they preferred the illusion of immediate power over the promise of the hereafter. Allah describes their act as an unjust exchange, a losing transaction in which the soul is sold for a fleeting gain. They chose what would harm them while bringing no true benefit. This aspect makes their sin even more severe. It was not an unintentional ignorance, but a deliberate choice. A sin committed with knowledge carries a heavier weight than one committed out of ignorance. This principle runs throughout the entire Islamic message. The clearer the light, the greater the responsibility. Harut and Marout themselves bear no blame. They remained obedient, faithful to the mission entrusted to them. They never transgressed the limits set by Allah. Their role was limited to the trial, not to misguidance. Responsibility rested entirely on those who chose to learn and use this forbidden knowledge. This story highlights an essential reality. Knowledge is not automatically a blessing. When it is not accompanied by piety, wisdom, and fear of Allah, it can become a cause of destruction. The Quran never glorifies knowledge that distances one from obedience. On the contrary, it warns against any knowledge that feeds arrogance and weakens faith. Through Harut and Marout, Allah also teaches the value of free will. Human beings are not forced into evil. They are tested. They are confronted with opposing paths and must choose in full awareness. This freedom is an honor, but also a heavy responsibility. Every decision leaves a trace, and every intention is accounted for. This story is also a reminder for every generation. Magic is not only an ancient practice, it takes different forms in every era. Even today, the temptation of control, domination, and forbidden shortcuts still exists. The tools may change, but the trial remains the same. Humans often seek results without patience and without obedience. The story of Harut and Marout reminds us that everything forbidden carries wisdom. Allah forbids nothing without reason. Behind every prohibition lies protection. Behind every limit lies mercy. Whoever respects these limits protects themselves, even if they do not immediately understand the wisdom behind them. This story also reinforces the concept of trust in Allah. No harm can reach a soul except by His permission. This certainty frees the believer from excessive fear and invites them to strengthen their relationship with Allah rather than seeking forbidden protections or dark solutions. In the end, Harut and Marout do not represent downfall, but the clarity of the trial. They symbolize the clear boundary between obedience and disobedience. Their story reminds us that true faith does not appear in moments of ease, but when temptation is close and the choice is heavy. This story invites every believer to reflect on their relationship with knowledge. Why do they seek to learn? For what purpose? To draw closer to Allah or to satisfy the ego? For it is not the quantity of knowledge that elevates, but the sincerity of intention. The story of Harut and Marout is a timeless warning. It reminds us that true success is not measured by power or control, but by obedience and patience. Whoever chooses Allah, even by renouncing what seems advantageous in this worldly life, gains an eternal reward. May this story strengthen the vigilance of hearts, enlighten minds, and remind everyone that salvation does not lie in forbidden knowledge, but in sincere submission to Allah.